Yippee Ki
Yippee
Yay!
Ki Yay, mother.
Some Chasov, Yesibiri's Zud Gest, Yosnavlius Ubernaya, Dragonskaya Courthouse.
Shut the fuck up, McLean.
What's going on, guys and gals, and welcome to Good Reel Hunting, where we hunt for the good reels so you don't have to. It's your boy Brad, got the Brett Man over here, and today we're going to be ranking the Die Hard franchise. Even the worst one is going to be included in this, unfortunately. But it's going to be a good time. If y'all are fans of the Die Hard franchise, be sure to check out the rest of our Die Hard videos right over here. We're going to have those up there for you. Of course, if y'all are fans of action, then join us on March 3rd on Jason Nike's channel, where we're starting Real Men and Real Movies. It's going to be a weekly watch party commentaries for mostly action flicks, but we're going to get into some other stuff too. It's going to be fun. So check out his channel for sure. And let's get into this thing. Brett, you excited or what?
Dude, I'm always excited when it comes to Die Hard now. The majority of these movies were first-time watches for me as we did this series, so I'm so excited to rank them. So are you ready?
I am jacked, dude. I had a really good time with these movies this time around, most of them. I've seen them all before, but this time it's been a long time since I've seen some of them, and I just had a blast all the way throughout. So let's get into it, man. You want to start off with numero 5?
Yeah, but actually, before we do that, just real quickly, if you all know the Slaughtered Lamb, they just did as the time of this recording, did a great job with their Die Hard podcast episode with their special guest of Dave McCrae. So I highly suggest you all go follow the Slaughtered Lamb on their podcast. They just do great stuff.
Right you are, Ted. Right you are. That's a good point. And yeah, you'll find some other good treats on there too. So yeah, let's get into this thing, man.
All right, let's do it. My number 5, it's not going to really shock anybody. It's going to be A Good Day to Die Hard.
Yippee Ki Yay, motherfucker.
And if you saw our review, you know how I feel about this movie. Just complete dog shit. Dog shit from a horse's ass, if I do say so myself. Just very bad. Just there's no heart, no passion in that movie, and that's why it deserves to be at my number 5.
I agree, and it's actually we'll just go ahead and point out the fact that as we go on through this list, we actually have the same list. So we'll go through, we'll take turns throwing them out there, and yeah, obviously Die Hard, A Good Day to Die Hard, or whatever the hell it's called, is my number 5 as well. It's dog shit out of a horse's ass. But number 4, we'll go ahead and jump into number 4, and that's going to be Die Hard 2, Die Harder.
Yippee Ki Yay, motherfucker.
And yeah, I mean, I thought this was a pretty good time. Like, obviously, it's pretty much the same story as the first one, just in a different setting. And you know, they have a lot of the same kind of tropes coming back from that first Die Hard, which is good. Die Hard is fantastic. It's the best. But you know, it's just not as original as the next two. Yeah, it was a fun time, a good time.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's just what holds back for this movie too. Like, I do love the whole airport aspect and like hijacking the airport or like the airplanes in the air, just to crash them if the terrorists don't get what they want. Just again, the main problem is the terrorists, the bad guys, just were not really much that memorable. And other than that, I still had a great time with this movie, and John McClane is just really good in it.
Yeah, I agree. It was a good time. Once you take us into number 3.
Yeah, number 3, and for me, my number 3 and 2, I have a good feeling are going to be flopping around a lot, just depending on the day. But as of right now in this recording, my number 3 is going to be Live Free or Die Hard.
How about Yippee Ki Yay, motherfucker?
And I totally forgot how very good this movie is. I love the whole cyber terrorism. I thought it was a very unique approach of the time that this movie came out. John McClane was great. I loved Justin Long's performance as Matt. Of course, I love Timothy Olyphant's performance as Thomas Gabriel. And of course, I'm a huge fan of Mary Elizabeth Winstead, so her role as Lucy, very good stuff as well. But the detectives were memorable, and at times this movie was just too over the top for me. But other than that, really enjoyed this movie.
Yeah, dude, I think you wrapped up everything in a nice little bow for me and said it all perfectly. I think it's all everything you just said is the same reason I like it. Timothy Olyphant, Justin Long, Mary Elizabeth Winstead, all those things. There's great additions. Good action, a well-paced movie in my opinion, and yeah, it's a good time. Action again, over the top, but again, it's a good time. It's fun. It's all in good fun at this point. And John McClane is officially a superhero as of this movie. But that brings us into number freaking 2, and this one's going to be Die Hard with a Vengeance.
Say hello to your brother. Yippee Ki Yay, motherfucker.
And this one is an absolute blast from pretty much an absolute blast from start to finish. It's got freaking, obviously Bruce, but it's got Samuel L. Jackson coming in as Bruce. It's the Bruce and Zeus show, and it is fantastic. Love it. Starts off, the first act of it is a freaking, it's a riddle freaking solving storyline there. It's like freaking Bruce and Zeus go meet Jigsaw, and they have to go through all these little freaking puzzles to avoid bombs from blowing up around New York City. Obviously, this is the only one that's been where the movie is set in New York City as well, which is also a nice direction to take the franchise. And to me, it's very entertaining. A lot of great action moments is with the taxi going through Central Park, and you know, Bruce and Zeus freaking blowing shit up and just tearing it up, man. It was great. A lot of good times. Drags a little bit at the end. The storyline kind of falls apart, you know, once they kind of change the motivations of the villain, Simon Gruber. But he was good overall, and overall it was a good time.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm glad you brought up Simon. Jeremy Irons was a great bad guy in this movie. And just like did that role like being like a Riddler, which I kind of compare for John McClane being Batman, while Simon was being the Riddler. So again, I love the whole aspect of the riddle and just like making this more of a suspense thriller type movie versus being on a full-on action flick. I think that was a good direction to take this particular Die Hard movie. So this is why it does deserve to be at number 2.
Right, you are. All right, old Bert, dude, you want to freaking whip us into number 1? You want to do the honors?
He calls me Bert. Absolutely. Yippee Ki Yay. So our number 1, if you have not figured it out already, and for most people's list, is going to be
the Die Hard freaking battery commercial from Advance Auto Parts.
Hey, that's my line.
It's fantastic. No, I'm kidding. Go on. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
dude, that's a good commercial. That is easily probably my number 5. And of course, you know what my number 6 would be.
Oh yeah. Sorry.
So, guys, number 1, Die Hard.
Do you really think you have a chance against us, Mr. Cowboy?
Yippee Ki Yay, motherfucker.
And how can it not be? Like, seriously, how can Die Hard not be? To me, it's part of my golden reel list. It was my first time watched, and I fell in love with everything from the main characters, from the side characters. But yeah, John McClane, Bruce Willis, excellent job. The action was fantastic, without going over the top. Like, not bad, but just perfect enough for this movie just to be just perfection.
Ladies and gentlemen, yeah. So the this movie came out in a time where every freaking action flick was Stallone, Arnold, or some big ass other dude out there tearing it up, greased up, freaking oiled, wrestlers. Hulk Hogan was out there a few times, but then they come in with Bruce Willis, normal looking dude, and they just freaking to craft a perfect action movie. This thing is perfectly written, it's perfectly directed, it's perfectly acted. Everything about it is perfect. The story is good. It's nice. It's you got the Christmas thing going on, just another added element to it. And yeah, it's just freaking beautiful, man. And everything in it is great. We'll talk about Hans, Mr. Gruber, our pal, R.I.P.
Played by Alan Rickman.
Yes, who were R.I.P. and not necessarily Hans himself, but you could say it for either. But either way, I liked that Hans was such a great villain because he's just freaking. He's smart. He's genuine. He's calm. He's collected. He's on top of things, dude. You just get a lot of built up tension with that, and it's awesome. And when they do finally meet, you have an awesome scene. With crooked camera angles where they're like, oh, does Bruce know this is the bad guy, or no, is he falling for it? The whole American accent thing is fantastic, man. I love it. We could talk about that all day, but yeah, Hans is the man, perfectly casted, and yeah, he's one of the best villains of all time.
Yeah, absolutely. Like, again, Die Hard number 1. How can it not be? So we did it, man. We have gone through the entire Die Hard franchise. Yeah, what did you all think about the Die Hard franchise rankings? Is it the same as ours, or is yours a little different? We will love to see it. So be sure in that comment section down below and to put your all's ranking of the Die Hard franchise, and let's just get that discussion rolling.
Right, you are. And if you want to help us find the good reels, you can do so by locating us on Facebook, Instagram, Letterboxd, Twitter, Spotify, and Apple Podcast for our long episodes.
Yeah, absolutely. And be sure to like our video, share our video, subscribe to our channel, because again, we are on that quest to 100 subs, so you can see Matt Fauci and Filthy Dan rap for us. And of course, ring that bell, ding, 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 so you know when the next video is up. And again, on top of me will be our playlist for the Die Hard franchise, so if you want to go back and watch our reviews on that. So yeah, man, let's do all that, and I guess we will see you next time, guys.
Woo! See you soon.
Yippee Ki Yay.
Mother.